It is now 7, so I think we should just start. Let me just make sure it's recording. Yeah, okay, so it's time to start now. So, hi everyone, welcome to Hoot Hour. This is our fourth episode, and I'm Manvi. I'm your host for this evening, and I'm also a writer here at Newsahoot. Okay, so today's topic of discussion is gonna be why is it so hard? You know, so let's just quickly get our introductions out of the way. So if the three of you could like do a quick introduction of yourselves, just something fun about yourselves, what school you go to, where you live, because we're from all over around here. So who wants to go first? Radhika? Maybe Radhika and Mol, then Arnav. Yeah.
Alright. Hello everyone. I am Radhika of class 10. My hobbies are dancing and singing and artist and I love to do paintings also. Like every type of painting I used to do. And I love to read the news and know about the things which are going around. And I used to read the articles on Newsahoot every day. Like which article it is whenever I get time or notifications.
That's really cool, Radhika. So where are you from in India? What school and all?
Um, I am from Faridabad.
Oh, nice. You must be from Holy Child, yeah?
Yes,
Nice.
yes,
Okay, that was
ma'am.
a lovely introduction. Anmol, would you like to go next?
Yes, ma'am. So, hello, fellows. I am Anmol of class 7th A. I am a student of Navyug School, Sarojini, Nagar, and my hobbies are simple, like gaming, and my interest is that history and whole SST because I love to read.
I think we lost your audio. You're on mute, Anmol.
Am I
Yeah,
audible?
yeah, good. Mhm.
Anmol, I am coming from Navyug School, Sarojini, Nagar, and my hobbies are to gaming and I like to read books
You're on mute. You're on mute again, Anmol.
and I like to read about history. I I mean totally SST because and I also read articles about history and historical movements, world record and different things. For example, Messi's world record and different in Newsahoot. That's what's
That's
so
yeah.
amazing.
That's actually great that you're so you love the social sciences so much because you write a whole bunch about that, about movements and record breaking on Newsahoot and all. So that's nice. Anna, would you like to do your introduction and then we'll start with our discussion?
Yes. Hello everyone. I'm Mittal from 9th A. Studying in Jesus Sacred Heart School in Ludhiana. I like playing cricket and chess. I even like to watch football matches like when the FIFA World Cup or the matches are there. I like to watch news every day and I even read articles on Newsahoot. Then I'm even a great player of chess. I do plantation. I have even got district award for plantation in 2019. And, and
That's very cool. Wow, you're interested, like you have a foot in like every other activity. That's honestly very impressive, especially the bit about plantation because what we're gonna learn from today's discussion is why we should all be doing a lot more of that to combat the heat. Okay, so before I start, I just want to you know preface by saying that let's make it like a really fun lively conversation, so not like a question and answer sort of thing. So, you can talk to me, you can talk to each other, we can all ask each other questions, yeah. And feel free to like bring up any fun fact that you might remember out of nowhere or something related to the conversation. Yeah. So I'm just saying let's keep it like open in between us. Is that cool, guys? Can I get a yes from everybody?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, we're good to go then. So today's topic is why is it so hot? And truly, it's it really is hot these days, especially I mean, except for the exception of today here in Delhi, where it there was like a major thunderstorm in the last 2 days. So now it's not that hot, but other than that, there's been like a warning of a heat wave issued across the country. You guys must have, you know, especially heard about this or read about it in the news because you guys you guys love reading the news. So, so there was a heat wave warning issued, right? So, and I think heat wave is this word जो हम काफी time से सुन रहे हैं, especially every summer. I feel like every summer for the last few years, I'm reading, oh, this is the hottest summer, in record history. Or, oh, this is, in the next summer, they'll say the same thing, that it's gradually the earth is just getting warmer, right? So now, if we think about it, uh, you know, especially in terms of when we discuss the environment, right? We use the word hot in a lot of places. हमें शायद से पता नहीं होगा, but like when we say global warming or heat wave or the ice caps melting. So we talk about heat a lot, right? Don't we these days? Yeah. So who's gonna, let's just like start off, right? So who's gonna tell me about, maybe the definition of a heat wave or like, it's hot every day, but when do you feel like, oh my God, it's getting way too hot, this is gonna be a problem now?
Ma'am, basically a heat wave occurs
Yes.
when the temperature of a place rises about 5 to 6 degrees above the normal range.
Yeah,
Once the temperature starts to become very hot.
exactly. That is the definition. So like it could be hot every other day, right? Where we're like, oh my God, it's so hot. I don't want to go out into the sun. शाम को, या फिर बहुत गर्मी है शाम को खेलने नहीं जाना है because you're gonna sweat so much and all that. But yes, when it's 5 to 6 degrees warmer than the temperature of a place should be, right? So that's why most people like stay at home. So what else do you guys know about like heat waves in terms of, like, why does the government issue warnings? Like, what's the worst thing, matlab, that could happen in the heat? I know.
And it is that because the heat wave can cause like power cuts because people use more ACs and things, so as it is more hot, so the coal is not able to keep up pace with that demand of electricity, so the power cuts are there. Then the heat waves are even lethal for the people and are really dangerous.
Yeah, that is a very good point. That what happens is it gets hotter, and then घरों में ऑफिसेज में एसी की डिमांड बढ़ जाती है बिकॉज अब हमको मतलब हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ ऑन करके रखना है बिकॉज इट गेट्स रियली हॉट. तो फिर ऊपर से द power supply to the whole city or district that you said, that only goes away. So then everybody loses in a way, don't we? Kyunki we're not, if we don't use something carefully, then we lose it completely. So like that's the whole idea behind sustainable energy and all that, right? So, but like let's discuss on a personal level. Like what do you think happens to like your bodies when it gets too hot? Anmol?
I think whenever I fall in heat, I drink a lot of water and different things happen. For example, I run to the home and turn on cooler, every electrical thing which can make me cool.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I used to come home school say, and it was so hot. I used to stick my head in a fridge. My fridge ka darwaza khol ke. I used to stand in front of it, and I was like, "Oh, it's so hot." And it used to feel really nice to just stand in the way of the fridge when it was like trying to cool me down, right? But as we all, I think सबकी mom सबने ये किया होगा and everybody's mom has probably told them कि ये बहुत unhealthy है, you know, जब कहीं बाहर गर्मी से आते हो, you don't like immediately go into like a cold environment वरना तबीयत खराब हो सकती है, right? I'm sure everybody's heard this. So yeah, that is a very good point. The body gets very dehydrated, है ना? So they tell you to drink stuff like, you know, glucon D or some sort of glucose powder and like to like keep yourself hydrated, right? And I think we all may know that, I mean, you've probably heard of it that if you're in the heat for too long, heat stroke bhi ho sakta hai, right? Has anyone heard of like a heat stroke or like what it does to your body or what may happen? Enough?
It
Have you heard
might
of
be
it?
like because of the heat, our body gets hydrated, so we need to drink a lot of water. Then, if we cannot go out in the sun for long,
Mm-hmm.
because it like causes our it is dangerous for our body.
Yes, it can also give you like a really nasty uh, sunburn, you know, especially अगर तुम्हें sunscreen डालने की आदत नहीं है, right? It can
Yes.
make you. But you know, then that's the whole
Yes.
point with the whole heat wave. Problem is not only that the sun is hot, the air is hot. Don't you feel that way जब heat wave होता है? You're like, even if you can't see
Yes.
the sun, शाम को, you might, you know, step out into your balcony and you're like, oh my God, it's like, it's so hot. The air is like really hot and humid and all that. But I think I forgot who brought this up, but like the point that we all have to, I think it was you only, Anna, the point that we all have to use more ACs, right? And I think you guys probably have done your homework that there was an article about that in Newsahoot very recently that ACs might keep us cooler, but if we start using our ACs all the time every day, it's gonna create a big problem, right? So who's gonna tell me why, you know, they tell us to conserve energy in that, you know, by not using an AC or a refrigerator all the time. Radhika?
Mom, basically, when we stay and when we stay in AC for many times, for more time, then we start to feel like sometimes we used to feel like very cold and it can create a problem even.
That is definitely true, but I was talking
And
more of a environmental, yeah, aspect. Like what could be the problem? Like what would it do to the environment अगर हमारा AC और fridge और ये सब
it
चलता
will
ही रहे?
create, it will cause global warming, making our planet hotter. Demand for AC is increasing and the temperatures are rising even. And it is important that we don't lot consume a quota of electricity. We should use it in limit so that we can save our planet even.
Yeah, correct. So as you guys, so there's like a specific word I'm looking for though. So let's see which one of you is like a true genius or you know, lover of the environment or you're someone who's very interested in environmental conservation. So there's this particular substance or gas that's released through aerosol sprays and refrigerators and ACs, and that really harms the ozone layer. And it's a big like culprit when it comes to global warming. So what's the word that like I'm looking for?
Refrigerants.
I think you're
Chlorofluorocarbon.
that's the one. Chlorofluorocarbons is precisely what comes out of air conditioners and refrigerators and aerosol sprays, and it you might have heard that, you know, it causes like a hole in the ozone layer that protects the entire earth, right, from UV rays and all that sort of stuff. So while, you know, it is a reality, है ना, but that it'll cause us damage, but point is that itni heat mein, you know, I mean, now we can't imagine living without AC, right? Can you guys, like tomorrow if I was like no more air conditioning for you, Would you guys be okay with it?
No, ma'am.
Probably not,
No, ma'am.
right?
Never, ma'am.
Exactly. So
No.
कुछ करना पड़ेगा हमें, right? Clearly, because if we're creating a problem, we must solve it, right? If we want to live on the planet for like a really long time. So we're gonna do this activity, okay? I'm not sure how many of you have कभी एयर कंडीशनर या रेफ्रिजरेटर या फैन की पैकेजिंग को ध्यान से देखा होगा but there's a certain label that comes on electrical appliances and it's got different stars on it, right? Do you guys have like an idea what I'm talking about? If you want, you guys can go and check any electrical appliance in your house and tell me if you see maybe 3 stars, maybe 5 stars.
There's some stars are there, 5 stars, three
Stars
stars.
are there.
You guys can, exactly. But like, let's all see कि तुम्हारे environment में which appliance has how many stars. So I'm giving you 2 minutes to go check.
I'm usually 5 stars.
Yeah, there are appliances with 5 stars, but not every appliance has 5 stars. So just
Yes.
उसमें there are 5 stars and उनमें से
Three
थोड़े
stars
से
भी है.
shaded होंगे, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So who sees how many stars
And
in the
five
house?
stars.
Three,
Yeah.
3 stars.
3, 5, okay. So as you can see, so the highest जो हो सकता है वो 5 है, right? So who knows what these stars mean? Because this is very important. जैसे तुम सब बड़े हो गए and you'll buy your own fridge and uh, air conditioner and all that, you should know what these stars mean. That's how you will be able to make like a really smart choice, like as a consumer. So who knows what these stars mean?
Hmm.
Anmol?
Ma'am, is it quality?
Quality
Efficiency
in a sense of it, but that's it's not the exact answer. Thoda thoda,
uh,
you're getting there
indicate
somewhere.
indicate the energy efficiency.
Yes, Radhika is right. So yeah, so the 5 stars indicate how energy efficient your TV, refrigerator, and all of. So there are, as far as I've read, there are two labels. एक छोटा label होता है जो छोटे appliance पे लगता है जैसे laptop, desktop, fan, right? एंड देन एक बड़े वालों पे लगता है which is for जो बहुत ज्यादा एनर्जी खींचते हैं जो बहुत ज्यादा पावर यूज करते हैं like air conditioners, refrigerators, right? So now the whole thing with these labels are that so a 5 star appliance will mean that it uses energy smartly, right? तो हो सकता है जैसे तुम खरीदने जाओ, there might be like a AC with like a 3 star and then there'll be an AC with a 5 star. हो सकता है now that the 5 star one might be more expensive when you buy it, but it uses energy so smartly that long term में it'll actually save you money on your electricity bill because it'll give you the same service, right? But it'll use less energy. So isn't that like a much smarter choice to make, right?
Yes.
So it's always,
Yeah.
so as a consumer, as a buyer, it's, if whenever your parents go shopping for the stuff next, you should tell them that, this is the label and it's very important to get something which is energy efficient because we could save a lot of money and it's great for the environment, of course, right? So we're gonna do this other fun little part of the discussion. So I hope you guys went through the resources that that was shared with you. Okay. So if you saw this one BBC video about what the Earth would actually look like when agar, if the entire Earth somehow becomes 3 degrees hotter, right? Did you guys see it?
Hmm.
Anmol and Radhika,
I
did you
have
guys?
seen half of you.
Yeah, it was a very long video. I do apologize, though I thought it was काफी interesting, and I thought you guys should, see it. So, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it was a video that showed what the Earth would actually look like, maybe let's say another 20, 30, 50 years from now on, if हमारा temperature सच्ची में उतना बढ़ जाए, which might just happen, right? As you know, the Earth is getting warmer, you know. So yeah, and it was the scene which was very dreadful. Because think about it. Okay, so now you guys think about it. If the Earth suddenly became 3 now 3 degrees कहने में बहुत छोटा सा, it's you'll be like, oh, what is 3 degrees? 3 4 degree तो वैसे ही, ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है, right? It can fluctuate. But like imagine and try to tell me what might just happen if the whole world is 3 degrees hotter.
I guess the sea levels will then increase and glaciers and the ice caps will melt, and due to the which will cause floods and destruction of the villages and many cities.
Along the
The
coast, right?
coastline, the coastline will actually grow and industry
I can't hear
reduce
you
too much
too
pollution.
clearly, Radhika.
The coastline of the today will largely be gone and reduce over the coming centuries by rising of sea levels.
All right, that's a good point. Anmol?
Ma'am, I think the coastal areas will be underwater because the glaciers cannot make it colder because the world is 3 degree temperature, and you have told us that it will be 3 degree temperature for whole world. Means glaciers cannot also uh, make the temperature low of their side. That's why the glaciers will also start melting too fast because they even cannot stop them. So
That is
the
true.
coastal areas will flow up even if it will be continuously for some time, 2 3 to 4 days. Then there will be a height of water will be too much.
Yes, that is right. So those are the coastal areas. What do you think? What about the inland areas, like the cities and the countries in the middle, जिनका कोई coast नहीं है? How are they in danger?
And they can like because of the more heat and more temperature, droughts can occur and then global warming will also increase. So the temperature and the air will be more hotter.
Hmm.
It will result in droughts and water shortage.
Exactly.
And
So
I think
Acute shortage of water, then just the temperature will increase suddenly and
yeah,
the people will start to faint and just it can create many problems.
it will be creating a lot of problems. Anmol?
I think, ma'am, humans can survive because ma'am, humans have AC so that they can survive. But ma'am, what about animals, ma'am? Because they are in outside of the homes. I'm not talking about the tamed pets. I'm talking about untamed pets who are walking outside of homes.
Yeah, stray animals and animals who live amongst like wildlife and forests, right? Who's gonna take care of that? That's a very good point. So one point though, which is very important, I think Arnav was almost getting there, is that there will be a drought, correct? Now, water and fertile land, especially. So, for example, let's say there's a drought. So everyone has seen what really dry land looks like, right? इसपे cracks आ जाते हैं, है ना? And इसपे कुछ grow
What
नहीं
I
हो
have
सकता.
seen in movies.
Exactly. तो अगर उस पे कुछ ग्रो नहीं होगा, right? Because it's so dry, what are we gonna eat, right? और वो तो सबकी कॉमन प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी ना देन, कि अगर कुछ ग्रो नहीं कर पा रहे तो कोई कुछ सेल नहीं कर पाएगा, तो फिर nobody can make anything to eat, right? Plus, if it's इतनी extreme heat, a lot of water bodies are gonna evaporate, right? जो छोटे lakes होंगे या wells, ponds, they're all gonna start drying up. So irrigation will also become difficult. So once again, no irrigation, no crops. Then we're gonna have a universal food shortage. I know. And
Yeah.
like Anmol was saying, it is true. हम AC तो on रख सकते हैं, but like if you guys read in the Newsahoot article, it might kill us one day. Why? Because we're staying inside our homes, right? AC is on, सब अच्छा है, सब ठंडा है, right? But the whole problem is हम बाहर नहीं जा पाएंगे क्योंकि बाहर इतनी गर्मी होगी तो our whole lives might just we'll have to stay home. It'll be like the pandemic again, है ना? You guys agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. Because
Ma'am,
think
I
about
want to
it.
add one more point, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, that there can be a chance that the weather cycle, which is called like this term will be winters and this term will be summers, rainy season, and different seasons will be changed, ma'am.
Hmm.
For example, ma'am, instantly there is rain, instantly there are cold, instantly there are heat. Different things can happen, ma'am.
That is true. Because अभी तक तो हमारा regular weather cycle चल रहा है, right? Who knows? वो भी पूरा disrupt हो सकता है. Even though इतने सालों
And,
से it's been, roughly the same.
and due
Radhika,
to the shortage of food, and due to the
yes,
shortage of food, people will start to die.
exactly. And I think, I think we try not to say it, but when we're saying food shortage, when we're saying heat stroke, when we're saying, you know, just floods, I think हम end में यही कहना चाह रहे हैं that how is the human race gonna survive, right? Because the end, उन सारी phenomena का ending तो यही है ना that humans will die. So then survival is gonna become an actual race, right? And I feel like another very important thing, as Anmol was saying, is that it's gonna be hard for animals, right? Because they live outside. But this might also become a problem for homeless people, don't you think? Like, see, we have homes,
Yeah.
we're
Ma'am,
comfortable, but then, I mean,
ma'am, I think, ma'am, government can help them because then government has some uh, places where the humans can live. But, ma'am, government will make for animals. Then also, ma'am, there is a problem because ma'am, animals, humans cannot catch animals easily to put them there, and
Government
animals
can,
cannot even understand that they are saving us.
yeah, the government should at some point, and I think the government does intervene and they do their best to help because they know how unbearable the heat is. Just बहुत ज़्यादा cold is also unbearable, right? For human beings
yeah.
outside. So extreme heat is also going to be like a very big problem. Radhika was saying something.
I was saying like government should across the world should make some plans and schemes to limit the global warming and the rise of temperature so that the
Radhika,
people
are
who
you?
are
Yeah, I'm so sorry to just cut you in. Are you using a phone?
no,
You're using a laptop to on the
I'm
meeting.
having a phone. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
having a
so if you could just change the angle so we could like see you properly because we can, I think, only see the light. Yeah, this is good. Thank you. Can see you now.
I was saying the government across the world should make some plans and schemes so that the homeless people should get place to live and they can survive in this rise of temperature so that they can be able to live properly and the rise of temperature and the government should take some government should take some uh, schemes to help those animals also with their life with their houses.
There can be more animal shelters, right?
Yeah.
What other ways can we like help animals and maybe
And
homeless people? Hmm.
like we can for animals like pet, street dogs and cats and birds. We can keep that water for them, bowl of water, so that mm, they can drink the water. Then for birds also we can give them like the seeds and all that. For homeless people, the sheds should be made and the small houses can be made so that they can live under the shed. And
And they should also be, ideally, they should also have access to clean drinking water, right? If they don't,
Ma'am,
you
I
Yes.
know?
want to say one thing that
Mhm.
ma'am, if there is no good crops, so that how can we give them seeds to them? Because ma'am, they are already in default in humans. So I know, ma'am, humans will save them.
And while you're muted,
And ma'am, where humans have shortage of crops, then ma'am, how can humans give the seeds to birds? Because ma'am, I know that human will save first to themselves, after others. I know
that,
that simple point.
yeah, that is true. I agree. I think we've all seen in those, especially those apocalyptic movies, है ना? Where like people do some really, to survive, everybody puts themselves first. Sadly, it's selfish, but it's human nature, है ना? तो बात तो यही है कि humans में इतना competition हो जाएगा who gets to live that yeah, I guess animals, I don't know who's going to be thinking of the welfare of animals, right? So as it's animal rights very important as well. Okay, so that brings us to like the next part of our discussion. So uh, especially, well, I would like you guys to think about it, but also the resources. Uh, it was mentioned, right? So we all know human beings do a lot of activities which are, causing the earth to get hotter, right? But like, can you think of some other activities that other phenomena not caused by human beings, which is also causing the earth to get warmer?
Global
And I
warming.
think the
Yeah, Radhika.
We can have global warming is just because global warming is something that people is not doing.
What do you mean? Could you explain that?
Like global warming is a climate change, refers to the shift in temperature and weather patterns, which is not in the hand of people. So it can also it is like a human act, uh, type of activities which is not done by humans.
So, actually, I mean, so as we've been discussing, Abhi, there are some activities that we do which causes it, right? Which is using too many ACs, we create a hole in the ozone layer, factories, um, cars that emit really, harmful gases, right? So we are doing, human beings are, largely, we are a part of the problem, you know? So we are causing uh, global warming, but it's not just us. There are like other factors. So I read somewhere that scientific studies show that the sun is slowly getting cooler, right? But the earth is still steadily getting warmer. So what could be the
Yeah.
explanation for that? Anmol was also making a point.
ma'am, I was saying that ma'am, 11% is point about we are cutting trees, ma'am, and for our furniture, ma'am, we can use steel and we can use recycled metal for making that. And ma'am, this is a large point because 11% is uh, coming like in our mind a small part, but it is actually the very large point because this 11 point is killing us.
Okay, fair. Arnav, would you like to
Ma'am,
add?
like after the human like do deforestation, they build like factories and more things. Now, pollution from factories also cause to increase the temperature, and it leads to global warming.
Those are all good points, guys. But I feel like you're somehow missing the point of what I'm saying. I'm saying what are some like human beings do their part to add to global warming, but what other things do you think might be adding to global warming? Because like I said, the Earth is getting hotter, but the sun is getting slightly cooler. So it's not just the sun. Think.
Ma'am, but ma'am, sun is getting
Deforestation.
cooler, but ma'am, still sun is that much hot, which much
Hmm.
sun can blow up whole our solar system.
Yes,
Sun
that is true.
sun is a star and it can get colder, heater. It is natural in stars that sometimes its temperature get lower, sometimes its temperature goes
Yeah.
higher.
So you are
And
completely right.
when they're about a supernova, that in that time
Let's
there
hope that doesn't
is
happen.
that much
That
heat which is sun haven't conducted in his whole life.
you're on mute again.
And in the end, sun will release that much light which much he haven't released in his life with with supernova.
Let's stop. Let's stop talking about the sun exploding. So you are right, though, because the sun is a star. I know we all think, okay, the sun is hot, it's always hot, but even the sun is sort of brightening and dimming like a light bulb, you know. That is why we have like fluctuation and such. Radhika?
Mm, I would like to say global warming is caused by many things like fossil fuel, burning of fossil fuel, coal, and deforestation. These these activities can emit the greenhouse gases into atmosphere. So it
That
can
is
cause many things like it can harm air also, atmosphere. Like
Mhm.
it can cause many problems.
I also read that apparently even when volcanoes explode, they also emit quite a lot of carbon dioxide. Not obviously not the way we do, obviously not as bad as we do, but even volcanic explosions do produce carbon dioxide. And also, this was a part of like, the video that I sent. So it was explaining that while the Earth does revolve around the sun, and that orbit is like an elliptical sort of one, that orbit also changes shape because it kind of like a ring, it goes around the sun. So that does mean that it is true. Sometimes, depending on the season, depending on what time of year it is, sometimes the Earth will be closer to the sun, and sometimes it actually will be farther. हो भी सकता है that we're closest to the sun in that orbit when it's winter, which is why we don't think it's so hot. We just think it's a pleasant day, right? So all that being said, we must at the end look for solutions, right? Because we're causing so much damage. But how are we going to fix it? How are we going to cool down our planet? Who has answers? Enough?
Ma'am, I think, ma'am, I think we should grow, every person, every citizen should grow 10 small plants. For example, ma'am, there are four people who are living in a home that they should grow 40 small plants because, ma'am, I'm not
40
talking about trees,
each.
ma'am. Small plants,
Oh, no. 10 each.
or 10 each, and ma'am, so that the because ma'am, I have read somewhere about plant contains. I didn't remember how much oxygen can a single plant contain. But ma'am,
Mhm.
when there will be 40 plants, then ma'am, there will be too much oxygen and carbon dioxide will be about to normal because then carbon dioxide at these days it is about out of the limit because now everything is good in its limit and currently
Yeah,
it's out of limit.
that's true. We do need carbon dioxide, हम जितना भी बोलें. The truth is, we need it for like a lot of things.
And
Uh,
we should switch like our fuels from the even the burning of fossil fuels. Then we should switch to the renewable energies so that we can reuse them, and we are able to like then we can even plant more and more trees, which will even help to cool down our earth. Then the pollution should be reduced, so factories and like vehicles should be also reduced. Then we should
yeah,
even save water.
that is true. So see, we have so many things to do if we want to save our planet. We have to conserve water, electricity, uh, the vehicles that we use. That's why they encourage you to use public transport. है ना? जब कर सकते हो, or cycle for short distances or walk, not necessarily, or carpool, even if you have to use a car, right? Radhika, what would
Mom,
you like to? Yeah.
I want to say something. Like I have heard something somewhere that as the global temperature is increasing, scientists have taken geoengineering like solution from planting trees to sucking carbon to the air, carbon out of the air to cool down the planet. I have heard it somewhere.
Oh, that is a very interesting point. You're saying that scientists are formulating, like they're creating something
Yeah,
that takes care of the content of carbon dioxide in the air. Okay. So
yeah.
everybody mentioned planting trees to cool down the planet. But like who knows I mean, why would you say that? What is it exactly that you think plants will do to cool down the planet?
Ma'am, I think the plant can save Earth just because its food is carbon dioxide. So that, ma'am, it will eat, it will replace it as oxygen. And ma'am, oxygen is compulsory for our lives. So, ma'am, it is interdependent on each other. We both are interdependent, and ma'am, so that we can't finish plant. Because ma'am,
Plants, it,
we are
mhm,
interdependent.
that is very
And
correct.
I
And
would
they
like
cannot
uh,
live without us because we
Uh-huh.
create carbon dioxide.
Okay, that is, yes, that is correct. And Arnav?
And I would like to say that the plants absorb, like they take in the carbon dioxide, so which reduces the greenhouse gases. They even release oxygen and the water vapors, which form clouds, and then rain comes. So our water is there, and the temperature is decreased.
That is true. I think we've
uh,
all read that trees attract rain, right? So बारिश होगी तो
yeah,
automatically, the earth is, how it is after it rains, right? So we'll all feel cooler
even
and the earth actually will be a little cooler. Yes, Adhika?
even plants cool the landscape directly through the process of transpiration. When the
Yes.
surrounding atmosphere heats up, plant will
Uh-huh.
often release excess water into the air from the leaves by releasing evaporated water.
Yes, that is important. The one point I think you guys are forgetting is that plants actively help reflect UV light, you know. So, for example, roads are made of asphalt. Okay, it's this material called
Mm.
asphalt. Now, this material, like, I don't know if on a hot day you've ever touched the ground or a road, but it's extremely hot. You know,
Yeah,
it's
Yes,
so
sir.
hot कि ऐसा लगता है इस पे टायर्स कैसे चल रहे हैं, how have they not burnt? It's very hot because asphalt directly absorbs a lot of heat. So वो गर्म हो गया, that means the it's getting hotter, isn't it? But plants and trees especially reflect that light. तो वो फिर absorb ही नहीं होती, right? So imagine now there's a whole cover of forest. All those trees will reflect that light, है ना?
Ma'am, can
Yes.
I say one point?
Yeah.
Ma'am, if the plant will reflect, ma'am, that then the carbon dioxide which is present in air, ma'am, the reflected UV rays will be absorbed by carbon dioxide, ma'am. Then,
What do you mean?
ma'am, if plant will reflect it, then, ma'am, the carbon dioxide can catch it and absorb it inside it and work.
I'm not very certain about the science of that, but what I do know is that somehow, if what you're worried about is that, it'll completely bounce off the UV radiation, sometimes we need to keep the UV radiation away from us. Because as human beings, हम ही कितना carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide release कर रहे हैं, right? So all of these are countermeasures that we're taking. Is it a little clearer to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, good. I know you've been trying to say something for a while.
I just want to say that humans should like do more and more efforts to decrease the global warming, and then increase in plants. One should each person should contribute towards the that decreasing. Then government should also take measures and think
That is
mitigation
true.
techniques.
Yes, that is true. So, um, I think also Ajkal it's a thing that we're trying to think of architecture only, like how to incorporate shades and like all of that into the very buildings we make. Because buildings are also made of like cement and stone. They also absorb a lot of heat, you know. And then वो वही साइकिल हो जाता है, गर्मी बहुत है, एसी ऑन किया, एसी ऑन किया, और गर्मी बढ़ेगी, फिर और एसी, फिर और गर्मी, So it's a very vicious cycle, isn't it? Uh, I think the other thing we could do is we could all use trees as a natural sort of shade, है ना? Especially जहाँ, for example, if there's a bus stop which is made of metal, and metal is bound to get very hot in the sun, है ना? So this is why they say that you should plant trees along sidewalks, along roads, so that the roads also don't absorb so much heat, right? Who else can think of like what's another good way to cool down the earth?
Ma'am, and I have noticed that, ma'am, is whenever I go backside of AC, whenever I cross backside of AC, ma'am, there and different kind of, ma'am, irritating heat comes on me.
It's so hot. Even if you stand behind, अगर तुम क्रॉस कर रहे होते हो और तुम किसी बस के पीछे से निकलते हो, isn't it so hot? You know,
And
directly
too
behind a
much.
bus. Yeah, exactly. So now imagine, अंदर तो comfort गाड़ी का भी सेम ही होगा, right? अंदर तो एसी ऑन है, तब comfortable है. The minute you go outside, you're like, oh my God, this is so hot. So that's like the flip side of it, isn't it? I think I read in LA, so like black absorbs heat, right? I'm sure everybody's read that.
Yes, ma'am, and white reflect.
Exactly. So now what people try to do is they try to, I think I read that they're doing this in Los Angeles, in America. What they're doing is they're trying to paint their roads white, and they're trying to paint their roofs white so that, direct heat now absorb me, which is kind of smart if you think of it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I think
Ma'am, I
that's
got an idea with this. Ma'am,
yeah,
that what if, ma'am, we will paint a tree log with black so that, ma'am, tree needs heat, and, ma'am, we will get heat, and the other places which are coming under the heat will get less heat, and the heat will go to that side which is needed.
that is smart. But you know what else is smart? Trees. Trees are also smart, so we should let trees do their own thing, you know? But no, it's a great idea. It is. And I mean, I think one of these days, I think we should also experiment with the whole white paint thing, right? या फिर तुमने वो भी नोटिस किया होगा कि बिल्डिंग्स के रूफ पे या घर के रूफ पे पीपल बिल्ड अ ग्रीन रूफ, है ना? वो बिल्डिंग के ऊपर ही, या दे डोंट प्लांट ट्रीज बट दे हैव लॉट्स ऑफ प्लांट्स, है ना?
Yes.
So that also is supposed to help cool down the building, keep heat ही ना absorb हो, right? Okay, I feel like we covered like a lot of stuff in this session. So does anyone have like any questions for me or for each other, or just something you want to discuss about global warming? If you've had any questions about it or any
Ma'am,
suggestions of how we can fix
I have
it.
one question, ma'am, that
Yeah.
the that this is problem on our earth only, or other planet also face too much heat.
So, this is one thing I feel like we all don't understand how lucky we are to have such a perfect little planet, which is not so far from the
Yes,
sun
ma'am.
that we don't get sunlight, but it's also not too close to the sun that we burn. So that is why they say that Earth is like the only planet which is perfect for human life. You know, every other planet is either too far or too close. So I think if we were any closer to the sun, we'd burn. But then there's a reason that human life does not exist on any other planet in our solar system, at least, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. So that's the whole point कि हमारा एक अर्थ ही है जो हमारी लाइफ सस्टेन कर सकता है. We don't have another option, which is why we have to really, really save our planet. Or anyone else like to ask anything? And Wall, if you have any more questions. Arnav was saying something.
No, no, I'm saying that I don't have any question.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay, that's nice. Radhika?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay, we're all
I'm not
clear.
sure.
We all did everybody have fun? I know
Yes,
I did.
ma'am.
Was it informative? You guys found out new stuff and like hopefully a lot of things you'll share whenever you're giving ideas, especially like the 5-star rating appliances. That was a very important takeaway, right? Everyone's gonna keep that in mind when they're buying electrical appliances in the future. Okay, so it has been
But
great.
when
Thank
solar panel is also dangerous because when solar panels also reflect light to the carbon dioxide because carbon dioxide is available in uh,
That may be true, yes. But see, so nothing is perfect, right? So why do we have solar panels? So we can get solar energy, right? Instead of using other forms like coal or something to get electricity. So, वही है, we're trying to save ourselves, we're trying to find alternate raste, alternate ways to find renewable energy like wind energy. But yeah, nothing is perfect, sadly, You're right.
I have read one point that heat wave is very bad in India, as India experiences hottest March in last 122 years.
That is true. And I think every summer we're hearing that, okay, this is the hottest. And then, because the earth it really is on fire at this point where it's getting really hot. Um, so you're completely right. And I think next year they might just say it's been the hottest March ever, you know. So if we're all like done and we didn't have any questions, I guess we should, wrap up. It's been really fun, you guys. I hope you learned a lot. I learned a lot from you guys. It was a really fun discussion. And yeah, have a nice weekend, everyone. Also, sorry, before I forget, we'll be sending certificates of participation to your schools, right? And you can show off to all your friends and talk about how you were a part of, such a fun discussion, and also encourage all your friends to watch and like maybe even participate next time. Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
And got vacation
Yes,
study
ma'am.
only.
Oh, yeah, you guys must have summer vacation, so please like be careful of the sun now that we've discussed
Ma'am,
all
ma'am,
this.
is this session have been conducted every year?
News a Hoot session.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so we started recently. I think this is our fourth one. Yeah. So it happens, I think, every alternate Saturday at the same time. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, guys. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Bye bye.